Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Valsa Williams with the Midday News. The headlines. Supreme Court upholds death penalty for all the 4 accused in Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case. Apex Court decides to examine the constitutional validity of Citizenship Amendment Act but refuses to stay its operation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to chair GST Council meeting to review taxation structure for enhancing revenue collections. 4 accused in 2008 Jaipur blast case convicted. And in cricket, West Indies win toss and elect to field against India in the second ODI at Viskhapatnam. The Supreme Court today upheld the death sentence of the 4 accused in the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case, rejecting the plea of one of the convicts, Akshay Kumar Singh, seeking review of its 2017 judgment. A 3-judge bench headed by Justice R. Bhanumati said they find no ground for review of the verdict. The bench said the contentions raised by the convict were already considered by the top court in the main judgment. Earlier, opposing the review plea, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta told the court that the convict does not deserve any leniency. He said there are certain crimes where humanity cries, and this case is one of them. Mr. Mehta added that convicts in the case are making concerted efforts to delay the inevitable and the law must take its own course soon. Nirbhaya's mother expressed satisfaction over the judgment.
अब लग रहा है कि हम फैसले के नजदीक हैं। अब उनको जल्द से जल्द फांसी होगी और निर्भया को इंसाफ मिलेगा, क्योंकि इस फैसले से सिर्फ निर्भया के माँ बाप और निर्भया को इंतजार नहीं है, इस फैसले का पूरे देश के महिलाओं और बच्चियों का इंतजार है।
The 23-year-old paramedic student was brutally assaulted on a moving bus in South Delhi on the 16th of December 2012. She died on the 29th of December at Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore. The incident was widely condemned both in India and abroad. One of the 6 accused in the case, Ram Singh, allegedly committed suicide in Tihar jail. A juvenile who was among the accused was convicted by a juvenile justice board and was released from a reformation home after serving a 3-year term. The rest of the accused went on trial in a fast-track court and were found guilty and sentenced to death. The government has taken several initiatives for the safety of women. The criminal law was amended last year to prescribe more stringent penal provisions, including death penalty for rape of a girl below the age of 12 years. Completion of investigation and trial in cases of sexual offence within 2 months has now been made mandatory. An online analytic tool for police called Investigation Tracking System for Sexual Offences was launched to monitor and track time-bound investigation in sexual assault cases in accordance with the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2018. A report.
A pan-India single number 112 has been launched for all emergencies with computer-aided dispatch of field resources to the location of distress. The Home Ministry launched National Database on Sexual Offenders to facilitate investigation and tracking of sexual offenders across the country by law enforcement agencies. One-stop center scheme has been implemented across the country, which is exclusively designed to provide integrated services such as medical aid, police assistance, legal counseling, psychosocial counseling and temporary shelter to women affected by violence. Till date, 728 one-stop centers have been approved by the government and 595 such centers are operational. With Anupam Mishra, Diwakar, AI News, Delhi.
The government is setting up over 1,000 fast-track special courts for expeditious trial and disposal of rape cases, including that of minors. The scheme will cost over 767 crore rupees to the centre and states. The Ministry of Law and Justice has formulated a scheme for setting up of fast-track courts for expeditious trial and disposal of rape cases and cases under protection of children from sexual offences, POCSO Act. The Supreme Court today decided to examine the constitutional validity of the Citizenship Amendment Act, but refused to stay its operation. It issued notice to the centre on pleas seeking stay on the operation of the law, as well as on the main petition challenging the constitutional validity of the legislation. A bench comprising Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde and Justice B.R. Gavai and Suryakant fixed the pleas, including those filed by the Indian Union Muslim League and Congress leader Jairam Ramesh, for hearing on the 22nd of January next year. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi K. Palaniswamy has said the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 will not affect Indian citizens. Talking to reporters in Salem this morning, he said Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah have clarified that the act is not directed against Indians. In response to a question on the opposition DMK's criticism that the act excludes Sri Lankan Tamils, he asked as to why the refugees from the island nation were not given Indian citizenship when the DMK shared power at the centre for 13 years. A delegation of the Bahujan Samaj Party BSP met President Ramnath Kovind today and submitted a memorandum demanding an inquiry into the police action in Jamia Millia Islamia and Aligarh Muslim University violence. In its memorandum, the party said a judicial probe should be initiated in the matter. The party also urged the President to repeal the Citizenship Amendment Act. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that no citizen should be afraid of the Citizenship Amendment Act. He said intruders need to worry about this law, not the 130 crore citizens of India. He was speaking on the sidelines of an event in New Delhi today. Saying that there are 900 universities in the country, he stated that the government hears the issues of all students and is sensitive to them. Delhi police today arrested 6 people in connection with yesterday's violence in Selampur area of the national capital during a protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Earlier, 3 FIRs were filed in Selampur, Jafrabad and Dayalpur police stations for rioting and damaging public property during the incident. Police personnel carried out patrolling in Selampur this morning. Meanwhile, Section 144 has been imposed in Delhi's northeast district. President Ramnath Kovind will preside over the second meeting of the Organizing Committee on the celebrations for the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi in New Delhi tomorrow. Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Costa, who will arrive in the national capital tomorrow, will also attend the meeting. The government is commemorating the 150th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, both at the national and international level, to propagate his message. The National Committee, headed by the President, has been constituted for the purpose. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will chair GST Council meeting in New Delhi this afternoon to review the taxation structure for enhancing revenue collections. The centre released GST compensation of 35,298 crore rupees to states and union territories ahead of the meeting. The finance minister said each state and the centre's revenue department will have to make a lot of efforts to improve GST collection. GST revenue collection witnessed an impressive recovery with a positive growth of 6% last month as compared to the collections of the same month last year. The gross GST revenue collected in November was 1,03,492 crore rupees. In the last meeting in Goa, the GST Council had slashed tax rates on several items, including cut and polished semi-precious stones. The Council had also decided to link Aadhaar with registration of taxpayers under GST. It also examined the possibility of making Aadhaar number mandatory for claiming refunds. A special court in Jaipur today convicted 4 out of the 5 accused in the 2008 Jaipur bomb blast case. 1 accused has been acquitted. Quantum of punishment will be announced later. More from our correspondent.
Jaipur had witnessed serial bomb blast on 13th of May 2008 at 8 different places of the walled city. 80 people lost their lives and 185 others were injured in the incident. Police had arrested 5 accused out of 11 and filed charge sheet. Special Public Prosecutor Sri Chand told that the court has acquitted Shahbaz Hussain while 4 others have been convicted under different sections of IPC. In this case, 3 accused are absconding while 3 persons are in prisons of Hyderabad and Delhi. With Jitendra Dwivedi's report from Jaipur, Swati Rakheja for AIR News.
Campaigning for the fifth and final phase of assembly elections in Jharkhand will conclude today. 16 constituencies of Santhal Pargana region will go to polls in this phase on Friday. In 5 assembly segments of Borio, Barhait, Litipara, Maheshpur and Shikaripara, campaigning will end at 3 p.m. due to security reasons. In the remaining 11 seats, campaigning will end at 5 p.m. Our correspondent reports that star campaigners of various political parties are making last-ditch efforts to woo voters.
Addressing election meeting at Sarat in Deoghar, working president of BJP JP Nadda said if party is voted to power, a committee would be constituted to give more reservations to OBCs without affecting existing reservations given to SC and STs. Criticizing BJP, Jharkhand Congress in charge RPN Singh alleged law and order in state has deteriorated and people, especially women, are not secured. Seeking votes in favor of Grand Alliance, JMM President Shibu Soren said interests of tribal community were not taken care during BJP rule. RJD and left parties are also addressing election rallies in support of their party's candidates. With Kekilal's report from Ranchi, Sanjeev Jasotia, AIR News.
The Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE has announced the board exam date sheet for the ongoing academic session. The examination will begin on the 15th of February. The students can visit the official website of the CBSE board www.cbse.nic.in to check and download the date sheet for the board examinations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with students during Pariksha Pe Charcha 2020. He has been interacting with students appearing for the board exams to give them tips on how to cope with exam-related stress. The third edition of Prime Minister's program is proposed to be held at Talkatora Stadium, New Delhi in the third week of January next year. Total 2,000 students, parents and teachers will be participating from all over India in the program. Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Girish Chandra Murmu, has said that all rights, responsibilities and powers will be given to the newly elected Block Development Councils, BDCs. He said government officers will be sensitized on working with the elected representatives. The Lieutenant Governor was addressing a 2-day training program for chairpersons of the BDCs in Jammu yesterday. Mr. Murmu said the district planning and development boards will be constituted after elections to Zilla Parishads in due course of time. This will complete the 3-tier of Panchayati Raj system for the first time in Jammu and Kashmir. Cold wave has further intensified in North India. The minimum temperatures dropped by a few notches across Punjab and Haryana today, with Narnaul reeling at 2.5 degrees Celsius. In Uttar Pradesh, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar and Bahraich were the coldest in the past 24 hours, where the minimum temperature was recorded at 3 degrees Celsius. In Delhi, the maximum temperature settled 10 notches below the season's average at 12.2 degrees Celsius yesterday. Domestic stock markets extended gains in afternoon trade. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 108 points to 41,460. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange also gained 28 points to trade at 12,193. The Sensex at Nifty hit record peaks in early trade today. However, the rupee depreciated 11 paise to 71 rupees and 8 paise against the US dollar in afternoon deals. And in cricket, the West Indies won the toss and opted to field in the second ODI against India at Viskhapatnam. India were 49 without loss in 9.3 overs when reports last came in. The Caribbeans have taken a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series after registering a comfortable 8-wicket win over the hosts in the first ODI at Chennai on Sunday. The third and final match will be played on Cuttack on the 22nd of this month. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Supreme Court upholds death penalty for all the 4 accused in Nirbhaya gang rape and murder case. Apex Court decides to examine the constitutional validity of Citizenship Amendment Act, but refuses to stay its operation. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to chair GST Council meeting to review taxation structure for enhancing revenue collections. 4 accused in 2008 Jaipur blast case convicted. And in cricket, West Indies win toss and elect to field against India in the second ODI at Viskhapatnam. For details of these stories and more, visit News on AIR app and log on to our website www.newsoneir.com. And with that, we end the midday news.